Hello everyone, welcome to OJ Patterns. Today we'll be working on personal bodies using the same method, the same way we did our size 14 basic bodies. So we'll be using our personal measurements. So you can take the measurements just the way I did before in the earlier video, in the earlier part of this video. So now this is the measurement I'm working with. The bust here is 90 plus 5 cm for ease. I'm adding 5 cm for ease. You can decide if you want to add 5 or 8 cm. So I'm adding 5 cm for ease. So this will be 95 centimeters. So for the waist is 73 centimeter, and I decided to add 2.5 for ease. So you can decide if you wanna increase the ease for your waist. You can decide to add like 5 cm or so, but I decided to use 2.5. So 73 plus 2.5 will give me 75.5. So and then I have my X back, I have my X front, which is across back, across front, and then we have the shoulder. The shoulder measurement, just the way I explained in the video, which is taken from nape to the shoulder and blade. Then we have the back length, front length, armhole arc, the armhole arc circumference, and then the depth of sky or side. We have the neck circumference, the bust point, and the bust span, which is something we will be needing. Okay, now moving on. So our basic rectangle is half bust. To get our basic rectangle, half bust. So we have 95 divided by 2. That will be 47.5. So 47.5. And then the length, which is um back length. Our back length is 39. So our basic rectangle will be 75 by 70 will be 47.5, which is half bust, by 39. So these are basic rectangles. So that means my width will be 47.5 and the length will be the back length, which is 39. So the first thing we want to do is create a margin. We already have a margin, have a top line and then the margin by the side. So you decide on what you want to do with that, and then from here now we'll go on. So from the top of our margin, of our top line there, along the margin line, I will take down the length, our pattern length, which is 39 cm. So I'll measure 39 and mark. So we have to square it out. So I'll come somewhere along the line, measure same 39. I'll just do it in bits so I can square my lines out perfectly. So I'm going to ensure whenever you're drafting your pattern, please ensure you have a single line. So there's no need to go back and forth, trying to make your line double. So we have to, so now we have the pattern length, which is 39, and then the width is 47.5. So from my margin, I'll measure 47.5 inwards. 47.5 and mark. I'm doing it in bits because my ruler is not so long. So if you have a long ruler, you can just mark at the top and at the bottom and square out. So now here we have our length, which is 39, and our width, which is 47.5, based on the measurement I'm working with. So you can as well just do the calculate your own measurements and then apply it. So we have length and width. Don't forget, length is our back length, width is half bust divided by 2. That's the half bust divided by 2 already has your ease in it, whichever ease you decide. Moving on, so we'll label all the parts in order to help us. So we have 0 here, 1, 2, and 3. So that this can help us when we are marking the points. So 0 to 4 is 2 cm down. So the 2 cm is standard. So we'll measure from 0 2 cm down and mark. And this will be 0.4. From 0 2 cm down. Now the width Round neck divide by 6 plus 0.5. So round neck is, our neck is 37. So I'll do 37 divided by 6, which is 6.1, plus, so we have 6.1 plus 0.5, that will be 6.6. So that's the width. So I'll measure 6.6 inwards. So whatever your neck measurement is, divide by 6 plus 0.5. So for this, we have 6.6, and then I'll mark 6.6. So the length here is still 2, same thing. So just to ensure I would have a perfect straight line, and then I'll connect to form a square. So we have 6.6 by 2. So this is 4, this is 5, and this is 6. So as we're doing the back, we'll be drafting the front too. So we've done the back neck, so we'll go to the front. For the front, use neck width, that's the circumference of the neck, which is 37 divided by 6 plus 1 cm. So that's what I will do. That will be 7.1. So I'll measure along the 0.2 line, that's along my top line, 7.1. So I'll measure 7.1 this way. And this will be 0.7. Now the depth is neck circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. So I have 7.1 when I did plus 1. So that will be 7.6 now. So all you need to do is to get the depth, neck circumference divided by 6 plus 1.5. So for my measurements, the measurement I'm using, I'll have 7.6, and then I'll mark. Don't forget, this is 7.1, so I'll just cross check and make sure we have a perfect square. So this is 8 and this is 9. So next, what you want to do is create an X in this box that you have here. So connect your 2 to 8 and then connect 9 to 7. Once you have this, drop down 2 cm from the midpoint. From the midpoint where both lines meet, drop down 2 cm. Drop down 2 cm, and using your curve, connect 7 from 0.7, passing through 2 cm towards the base of 9. So you want to mark like 1 cm inwards so that your curve can sit like this. So placement of curve is very important. So that's the front neck curve. So I'll move on to the back to create my back neck curve. Same thing, I'll take in like 1 cm and then place my curve from 6. This is it. Please ensure your lines are perfectly drawn. Next, moving on, we divide armhole arc by 2 and mark from 0.4 down. So there are 2 ways. What we are trying to get is our depth of sky. So you can divide armhole arc by 2 and mark from 0.4 down. So the armhole arc is here is 43. 43 divided by 2 will give me 21.5. So from 0.5 I can mark 21.5. That's one method. Another method you can use, especially for people that are really busted, that's plus size. What we can do is get the midpoint of 0 to 1, wherever your 1 is, and use. So that's for people that are really busty. But for the not so plus size or the basic measurements, just work with your armhole divided by 2 and mark from point 4 downwards. So for this measurement, because it's for a small size, so I will just work with what I have here, which is 21.5. So I'll measure 21.5 from point 4 downwards, which is half armhole, and this will be point 10. So I'm to square out. I'll just check what I have here and then use this line as a guide to square out. So square out to the center front. Please let's ensure our lines are done properly. So this is 10 and this is 11 on center front. Next step is get the midpoint of 4 to 10. So I have 21.5 here. I'll get the midpoint. Since 1.5 divided by 2 will be 10.75. And then I'll square it out. So I'll have 10.75. So we have to square it out to center front. Okay, 75. So this is 0.11. This is 12 and this is 13. Sorry. This is 12 and 13. Next step, from point 10, that's along this line, measure and mark half across back. So the half across back of the measurement I'm working with, 34. 34 divided by 2, that's 17. So I'll measure 17 from point 10 and mark. So calling it point 14. So the measurement here is half across back divided by 2. Half across back is same thing as divided by 2. So we're doing across back divided by 2. We'll just half across back. So that's what we have. And the measurement we got, we have our cross back is 34. We divided it by 2, that's 17. So I measure from 10, 17, calling it point 14. Now from here, from point 14, take up 18.5 cm. 18.5. So I'll just be sure that my line is straight in order to square up. So you square up from 14 to 18.5. Please note that this 18.5 is a guide for drawing the armhole. So it's 18.5. That's what I'll use for all sizes because it's a guide for drawing your armhole, like for drawing the arc. So the importance of this 18.5 is just for you to make it easy when you are drawing your arc. So that means everyone's measurements will differ. For some people, the distance here would be higher, while for some it will be lower. It depends. So because of your armhole arc, don't forget this our point 10 line is our half armhole arc. So whatever measurement you get, just measure 18.5 upwards and mark. Okay. Next, I'll draw in the armhole arc. So you get your tape, ensure your pencil is inside. Make sure it stops on this 18.5. So when doing this, you want to ensure it's here on the 18.5. Hold it down and then hold this tape, the remaining part of the tape downwards on your point 14 line. So don't hold it here. It will give you a different curve. You have to hold it on this point 14 down and then you draw your arc. Take it to the right and to the left. Okay. Next. The next step is now from point 11. So please let's listen to this very well. For basic size 14, we normally say take out 10.5 because the calculation has already been done. Now what you want to do with your own measurement, what you need to do is use x front divided by 2 plus 1 cm. So that's your chest width, which is your across front. You divide it by 2. Here I have 32 divided by 2. I'll have 16. 16 plus 1 cm will give me 17. So whatever your measurement is, that's what you will use. Don't measure 10.5. Use your across chest divided by 2 plus 1 cm. So for this measurement, the 2 divided by 2 is 16 plus 1, that's 17. So I'll measure 17 cm from point 11, that's from the center front. You measure whatever measurement you get, 17, and mark along the line. So this is 15, this is 14, this is 15, this will be 16. Now from point 16, take up 18 cm as a guide for drawing the arc. So I want to check all 17, I'll come here and ensure it is same 17 so that I'll get perfect straight line. And then square up. Next, I'll draw the arc for the center front. So same way, ensure it's down this way. You hold it down on that point and then hold your tape down on point 16 and then you go. So this is it. This is the arc for the back. This is 16, this is 17. And for the back and front. Okay. Next step, draw a line from point 6 to touch the arc. So the line we are going to draw, the measurement is going to be your shoulder plus 1.5. So whatever the shoulder measurement is, shoulder here is 13 plus 1.5 for back, for shoulder that's at the back, that will be 14.5. So that's what I'll be using. So I'll measure from 0.6, 14.5. The 14.5 will touch anywhere on the arc. So wherever it touches, that's 14.5. And then I'll square out. Please let's ensure we do this carefully and ensure our lines are perfectly straight. So we have that. Next, draw an X in the box. So what I'll do is draw an X in order to get my guide for the armhole curve. This way and this way. So from 14, take up 2.5. Y from 16, take up 2 cm. So 2.5 along the line and mark. 2 cm along the line and mark. Next step, get the midpoint of 14 and 16. So I'll just check what I have here to here. What I have left for my measurement is 13.2. So that's 6.6 for my midpoint. This is it. Okay. Next, I'll be constructing the armhole. So what you want to do is, using your French curve, connect from the shoulder measurement, touching this line to the 2.5 cm and then your armhole. So you want to try and ensure you do this properly. So try placing your curve till it's sitting right. Placement of curve is very important here. So we want to ensure we do it right. And yours should be way better than this place. So placement of curve is very important. Okay. So I have the back curve done properly. Please ensure you don't have double lines, and let's try and make sure it's perfectly done. Okay. So for the front, for us to join the shoulder, we'll do shoulder measurements plus 6 cm for that. Our shoulder is 13. For front that is 6 cm. So 13 plus 6 is 19. So I'll do 19 from 7, wherever it touches on the arc. From 7, I'll measure 19. So even my 19 is going way inwards. So I have to draw my arc to come down more. So I have to draw my arc to come down better than what we have already. So because I'm using pen, in order for us not to have double lines, I want to redraw it with my pencil. I'll hold it down same way. Please ensure you don't have double lines. Just do it right. So our measurement we're working with is 13 plus 6, which is 19. So I'll measure 19 now from point 7 to touch my arc. So this is the 19. And I'll square it. Please ensure your arc is perfectly done. Should be way better than this. Okay, that's my arc. Next is to connect our curve. So we have to connect it from the shoulder measurement, that's our 19 cm, passing through the 2 cm to this. So placement of curve is very important. So we want to ensure we are placing it very well. So this is it for our front armhole curve. Okay. Next, let's work on the dart suppression. So before we do that, don't forget your front length. You have to bring the effect for the front length. So our front length is 41. Our back length is 39. So if you check the difference between 39 and 41, that's 2 cm. That's 2 cm. So for this is 2 cm. If you're working with, if you are busty, like if your measurement is, your front length is, there are some measurement that the front length is even longer, up to like 4 cm. You just have to use it the way it is, the difference. So for this, I have 2 cm because my measurement is not that big. So I'll just square down this center front line, and then I'll connect to nothing. So for this, you want to ensure you connect it straight. So from the front, I'll connect it to nothing on the back. That's 2.1 like this. So use a longer ruler so that you can just connect once. So this is it. So you connect it to nothing straight up. Okay, next, let's square from this midline. Let's square from here downwards. So I'll just check what I have here, and then I'll check my measurement, 23.6, and bring it here and the mark. Now square it down. So let's discuss about the dart suppression. So our bust, let's do it this way. Bust is 90 plus 5, that's 95. Waist is 73 plus 2.5, that's 75.5. So what we want to do is divide this by 2. 95 divided by 2 will give you 47.5. 75.5 divided by 2. Let's look at it. 75.5 divided by 2 will give me 37.75. So 37.75. So this is divided by 2. Divided by 2. So this is what you do. You do your measurement like this. Your bust divided by 2. You write out the measurement. Your waist divided by 2. Write out the measurement. Now we need to get the difference. So 47.5 37.75. So you minus 37.75 from 47.5. What I'll get is 9.75. So my dart suppression is 9.75 along the waistline. So we'll have to cross calculate how we want to use this. So I have 9.75. So for the side, I would work with 3 cm. That's 1.5 on either side. So for the side, I will use 3 cm. So if I remove 3 from 9.75, I will have 6 points. I will be left with 6.75. So 6.75, I want to divide it for front and back. I can do 6.75 divided by 2. So your difference might be much, it might be less. So I would have divided by 2, I will have 3.375 for front, 3.375 for back. So that's it for your that suppression. So I'm using 3 cm for the side, which is 1.5 on either side. So I'll just come here, 1.5 here, 1.5 here, and then I'll connect it to the top like this. Connect it to your UAP straight up. That's your underarm point. This way and this way. So we've used 3. What we are left is 6.75, which we divided into 2, and we got 3.375 on either side. So moving on to the front. Now to get this, for your center front, remember for your size 14, you just need to measure 7.5 and 7 cm at the back. Now, for your measurement, you have to be specific. You have to know what you're doing. So you have to use your bust span. So bust span, which is nipple to nipple measurement, is 16.5 for this. So what I want to do is divide 16.5 by 2. I will have 8.25. So that's what I will use. So whatever your bust span is, that's your nipple to nipple, is what you will use. This is 8.25. And then my dart suppression is 3.375. So 3.3, and I will mark here. So this is it. Oh, sorry, please. What you want to do is bust span divided by 2, that's 8.25. So we mark, please disregard this, 8.25. Now, that suppression, after we divided the remaining 6.75, I have 3.3. So that 3.3, I'll have to divide it, one going to the left, another one going to the right. So that 3.3 now, I will divide it into 2. So I'll have, that will be 1.6, 1.6, this is 1.56, and then I'll come here, I'll come to this other side, 1 point. So let me explain. We have 3.3. So we have 1.6875. So I'll just go 1 point. This is 1, this is 5, 6. So in between 6 and 7 is a 1.6875. Come here, this is 1.56 in between 6 and 7. So let me explain again. The first thing you want to do is measure your half bust span. Our bust span is 16.5. What I have here divided by 2 is 8.25. So I measured 8.25 from here. This is the bust span. This is half bust span. Let me write it here. So this is it. Now your dart suppression, whatever measurement you want to use for the front, you now divide it by 2, because one will have to go to the left, one will have to go to the right of your half bust span. So that was what we used here. Okay. Next step is for your shoulder. Okay, now for your dart, the shoulder dart, the first thing you want to do is you have to get your bust point measurement. Bust point for the measurement I'm working is 26. So from point 7, I'll measure 26 down. 26 down. This is where my 26 is. 26. Now the width, for you to be sure, is the same measurement as your half bust span, which is 8.25. So use 8.25 and mark. So that means my 26, which is my bust point, will stop, would have to touch my 8.25. So this is it. And then I'll rule a broken line. So whatever your bust point measurement is, you bring it down by 8.25 from your center front. That's by half bust span. Okay, this is the broken line. Next, from here, we'll measure 6.5 out to get the first dart leg. And then from 6.5, we'll measure 6 cm to get the second dart leg, because the measurement we added to our shoulder was 6 cm for that. So, and then I'll connect it to the 26 that is on a half bust span. Connect it here and connect it here. Ensure this one is a broken line, please. So that's the dart. Next, take down 1.5 from your bust point. Drop down 1.5 and connect to your dart leg. So this is it for the dart. So if you see now, the dart is straight, properly aligned. So ensure your measurement is like this. Now for the back dart, point is back shoulder dart first. For the back dart, along point 6, measure 6 cm along the shoulder line first and mark, and then 1.5 for that. Don't forget, when we were doing this, we did 1.5 for that. Next step, for the waist dart, measure the midpoint from 14 to 10. I have 17. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. So we get the midpoint from here to here. So that's what I will use here too, the same 8.5. Next, our suppression for back is 3.375. So if you divide it by 2, in order to have it on both sides, you will have 1.68. So mark 1.5668. So that's between 6 and 7. 1.5, that's between 6 and 7. So this is like that, and then I'll connect. To connect your shoulder dart, now from the first dart leg that we marked, which was the 6 cm we measured, place your ruler this way and rule a faint line, because the shoulder dart needs to be aligned with that your waist dart at the tip. Now the length is 7 cm. So from this second dart leg, I'll measure 7 cm down. Wherever it touches on this line is my dart length. So I'll go 7 cm down. And then I can now mark this one properly. So this is it on our personal basic bodice. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. This is through bust point. This is under arm point.